Collaboration is seen as one solution to the problem of rising costs and greater uncertainty, and one arable farming group in Northamptonshire is showing the value of working together. How do they plan on reducing cost and other shortcoming in agriculture? In this video, I've brought you the news in detail. Make sure you stick with me to the end of the video. Without any further delay, let's get into it. How has this arable farming group managed to be successful in their agriculture? Brixworth Farming was established 22 years ago, and members have since benefited, especially during tough times when they could have seen losses if still operating as separate businesses. With rising costs and a more unpredictable climate, other farmers may consider joint ventures to increase the resilience of their businesses. Brixworth Farming's managing director, Ian Matz, has explained some of the elements of his group's success. What are these elements? The first element we'll be capitalizing on in this video is joint venture. Ian Matz has stated that the starting point is deciding the type of joint venture. They vary widely, from simple machinery sharing agreements to more involved arrangements with a single team of staff and machinery fleet. Mr. Matz believes the secret to Brixworth's longevity is that everything is pooled. Back in 2000, he said the founders, which included his father Charles, recognized that to get real benefits from working together, they had to go all in together. Brixworth's all-in approach makes room for big reduction in machinery, going from 12 tractors to 4, fewer staff, and running 2 combines instead of 4. By working together, the members can benefit from the latest innovation, but without the high cost. The all-in approach involves sharing in the gain and pain, thereby removing risk. It means working closely with a local merchant to add value to crops. And with the all-in approach, there will be no need for grain storage, so members can benefit from other revenue streams by renting out buildings for other uses. He explained that the net margins of all crops grown are shared between the members. It also means the risks are pooled across the land, thereby de-risking arable farming. But they are still individual farms, and the shareholders can still be involved with decision-making, but without the stress of the day-to-day management. Pooling also helps with planning, as it enables Mr. Matz to manage the area as if it was one single farm. For example, at harvest, he can prioritize crops. He recalled that in the group's first harvest, delays meant one business ended up losing premiums on a crop. Another reason why it works for Brixworth is that all the farmers have areas of both heavy and light land, and some crops do better on the light land and others on the heavy areas. So overall, no one is better or worse off than the others. Another key factor is good governance, which entails good communication and direction. Brixworth has a board of directors made up of the 4 shareholders, Mr. Matz, and an independent chairman. Ian Matz admitted that the shareholders can have differing views, but it's about keeping them on board and having good communication. Mr. Matz sends a weekly email to shareholders, and they receive monthly management reports and a quarterly board report. Board meetings include a farm walk, seeing for themselves what has worked along with the things that haven't. They can then challenge what they are doing, and they all get involved with the discussion. For example, Ian Matz recalled that when blackgrass became a problem, the chairman asked him to put forward a blackgrass strategy outlining how they were going to deal with it, and he provided them with regular updates so everyone was aware of the short-term pain and how it was being tackled. The pooling approach really helps, as the whole area can be managed for the weed, and if a field needs to be sprayed off, the pain is shared. And conversely, if a field really performs well, they will all gain. Brixworth's focused approach to blackgrass is now playing off, and this year was the first they didn't have to spray off areas of crop for the weed. They've had to firefight with 5 years of spring cropping in places, which has brought it down to manageable levels. Ian Matz uses a traffic light system for fields and manages them accordingly. Red is high pressure, and it goes down to green once levels are down. Ian Matz added that reduced cultivations and late drilling has successfully kept them down. Another key factor to keep shareholders on board is to implement changes such as regen farming at the right pace and show the benefits along the way. Mr. Matz does this through benchmarking. He uses AHDB's Farm Bench tool along with data analytics from Yagro. While it's difficult to compare with other joint ventures because they all differ, they do internally benchmark fields. One example of how this has helped Mr. Watts is with his recent yield review. Comparing yields revealed that more focus was needed on headland management. Brixworth runs on 36-meter tram lines and with an average field size of 70 hectares, to which half of the area is headlands. One field was 85% headland and towards the bottom of the yield list, so Ian Matz explained that they took it out of production and into stewardship. He's also carrying out extra targeted cultivations on turning headlands to help raise yields and enable them to continue direct drilling. What lies ahead in the future for them? Looking ahead, the group is planning to expand, as the extra cultivations have built in more costs and areas have been lost to stewardship over the years. Ian Matz believes this approach will appeal to farmers who are looking to reduce costs but don't want to go down the contract farming route. That's because they can still be a farmer, but without the burden burden of farm management. Ultimately, shareholders have seen out the difficult times successfully and are in better shape to weather the challenging times ahead. From crop management to land management, over the 2 decades at Brixworth, there's been a huge change in emphasis as stewardship has become more important to its shareholders. Ian Matz explained that while Brixworth started out as an arable cropping business, it's now a land management business. He further explained that there's been a swing to managing stewardship. They now have a 200-hectare legume fallow to manage across the farms, which has had an impact on the machinery fleet with a 6-meter topper added to manage this area. Next up, let's highlight on Arable Farming top 5 technologies. The first technology we'll look into is the remote soil and plant sensing in site-specific applications. Sensing equipment attached to vehicles can measure a wide range of soil parameters such as moisture content, composition, density, and can pinpoint the precise locations of individual plants. The results of these measurements help determine how much water or fertilizer are needed and where they should be applied. Seeders, spreaders, and sprayers equipped with variable rate technology can then supply only what is needed for the growing crop. Another advantage of soil sensing is that it can monitor conditions in the field without stressing the soil. The next arable farming technology to highlight on is machine synchronization. Combine harvesters already coordinate reaping, threshing, and winnowing activities for crops such as wheat, barley, oats, rye, maize, soybeans, linseed, and oilseed. They separate the less nutritional straw from the grains on site, allowing the farmer to leave the straw as a crop residue on the field or use it to feed livestock. Modern machines are equipped with communications technology that allows the various machines working in a field to automatically synchronize their operations to avoid duplication of activity or double application when spraying, fertilizing, or seeding. Next, the online yield monitoring and mapping. Combine harvesters can also be equipped with yield monitoring sensors that capture the composition and condition of the harvested grains in real time to produce yield maps. When connected to the machine's global navigation satellite system, yield maps can identify low and high-performing areas of the field. And by monitoring yield histories year to year, areas with consistently low yields can be identified, enabling farmers to vary the application of agrochemicals appropriately. Another important arable farming technology is automation and robotic assistance. When it comes to harvesting, it's important to ensure that the harvester follows the same route as the planter to avoid driving over the crop or compacting the soil. Satellite-based positioning systems that modern tractors are equipped with enable drivers to determine their position to within a couple of centimeters so they can produce the same route for different purposes, such as sowing, fertilizing, and harvesting. Auto-steer systems are also available, some of which can perform simple turns, but a driver is still needed to monitor the equipment and watch for obstacles. Robotic systems are being developed, though, so autonomous harvesting and precision processes will soon be possible. Wrapping it up, we have the advanced modeling and scenario planning. Machine learning is increasingly being used in precision agriculture to associate yield outcomes with different properties of the weather, soil, or plants. The benefit of this technology is that it learns, so can adapt its operations over time and make the calibrations necessary for providing appropriate suggestions to the farm manager. That's all we have for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this, and we'll see you next time.